Now, we read recently that you've been a character witness for Phil Spector in his trial.
Yeah.
And on the subject of Phil, like notorious producer, obviously,
Yep.
read in Q magazine that you rebutted Dee Dee's recollection that Phil held you guys up at gunpoint during the making of End of the Century.
Well, yeah, that didn't happen.
Yeah, so like, what was
What's the truth behind that?
Yeah,
rumour?
like was working with Spector that extreme of an experience?
Well, he was very eccentric. He did have a license to carry 2 guns.
Oh my lord!
That was his thing, but he never pulled a gun on us and pointed it. They were in the studio, they were on him, and they were on the studio console.
Mm-hmm.
But he never took it out and pointed a gun on us, because if he did, and if it went off, he wouldn't have a band to produce. And he was I still deal with him, but the thing is that he was abused as a young guy, as a teenager, and he swore that would never happen again. So when it got to a point where it was legal, he started carrying guns, and so did his bodyguard. So that's just the way he is, and he is the greatest producer in America that ever lived. Me and Joey loved him. Dee Dee and Johnny couldn't get along with him.
Why was that?
Well, because they were used to working very fast. Phil worked very slow, so that immediately caused friction. And then as time went on with the gun playing and the ranting and the ravings that Phil would do, not necessarily because he was pissed off at something, because he was trying to get a certain sound, it would rub them the wrong way. But me and Joey kind of understood the way Phil was ticking. So, that's the way life is. Some people just don't get along,
Yeah, that's fair enough.
You also mentioned that working with Phil would get you guys on the radio, but you're a band who always sort of enjoyed more cult success than mainstream attention. Was that sort of your intention at the beginning, or?
No, that was we never thought of make the song into a hit, but when we got Phil Spector involved, we thought, let's give it a go, and we did Rock and Roll Radio, which was a big hit in England. But in America, still, they didn't want to play the Ramones, no matter who produced it, but it was the biggest selling album individual selling album that we made. So it did something. It brought us to the next level, and so did Rock on High School, the movie. But we were happy in our position as being not just any other band. I'd rather be a band with a longevity for 22 years than a band that just has a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, I mean, you're still such a huge influence today, your sound and your image. Blitzkrieg Bop is still, always played in rock clubs. And
Sedated, I Want to Be Sedated, Blitzkrieg Bop, and all that stuff. I guess it's the lyrical content, the speed of the songs, and a lot of the subject matter relates to youth, and you should always remember that. You should always hang around youth, because they know what's happening.
Oh, definitely. I always spin the Ramones every week at my club night, for sure.
Well, thank you.
I always wear skinny jeans and Converse sneakers like you guys.
Yeah, that's the way to look. That's cool.
How does it feel to sort of see that your legacy lives on?
I'm very grateful, and I think Johnny, Joey, and Dee Dee would have been very grateful. We were the longest lineup of the band, Johnny, Joey, and Dee Dee. So the thing is that we were able to see this, and I, being in the band again for 15 years, saw this too. And everywhere we went, we saw bands starting to wear, leather jackets, jeans, sneakers, and even the punk scene in England. When they went over there the first time, a lot of the bands were in the audience taking notes.
It's like the Clash and the Pistols, and
they're great bands. And Joe Strummer was a good friend of mine, and I toured with the Clash with the band I was in called Richard Hell and the Voidoids.
Oh yes, of course.
In 1977, the Clash tour.
Blank Generation.
Yeah, Blank Generation, and we all became friends. And I was close to Sid when he moved to New York, when he hung out in CBGBs and stuff. But, then it went off to L.A. It's funny because England was second and then L.A. was third. And we never quite could understand it, I guess, because of the weather they have in L.A. They can't wear leather jackets.
Actually, what inspired the original kind of Ramones look, the leather jackets and the long hair?
That's what we wore in Brooklyn and Queens, the very tough neighborhoods in Flatbush Avenue in New York, near Coney Island and all that stuff. So you're not going to go around wearing satin pants and 3-inch shoes like the glam scene. That was before the punk scene, because you get your ass kicked, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you guys always look like a really tough, tight crew.
Like a kind of like sort of punk Fab Four, you know, with just longer hair and like the Hamburg style jackets.
That was it. We were. If you ever saw the Lords of Flatbush, if you ever saw Happy Days with Fonzie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
Those are the kind of guys we kind of were, but instead of like, you know, they were called greasers. But the Ramones were kind of greasers with long hair and amplifiers behind us playing music. That's really what we were. We were from Brooklyn, New York, and Queens.
It's great to talk to you, because it's like talking to someone like a living legend. Like, you talk about things like Sid Vicious and all these people that
Joe Strummer,
yeah, and it's just amazing. And I'm just wondering, what kind of things have you done to preserve your band's legacy, like today?
Well, what I also do is, and I feel that it's very important, I keep the legacy alive by playing 30 Ramones songs with my band, which I started doing, and I always make sure that the bands are good. And I'm going to start doing that in the States when I get back, and then I might bring it over here.
Is that the Marky Ramone band? Is that separate from the Osaka Pop Stars project?
Yeah, that's something totally different.
Yeah.
I'll ask you a little bit about what you think about the current punk scene. Because you said on your radio show that punk is alive, and it's kind of alive and well today. What artists would you say are currently kind of flying the punk flag, or who are any good in your opinion?
There's a lot of good bands that are keeping it alive, like Rancid.
Oh, I love Rancid.
Green Day, the Gallows, Riverboat Gamblers, Audio Karate. There's a lot of, even girl bands like the Donnas and stuff like that.
The Donnas are very much influenced by you guys.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Yeah.
But they're really nice girls, and it's good to see girls playing punk, you know?
Definitely.
But there's a lot of good new punk bands that are keeping it going, you know, which is important.
Well, Marky, now, you've been talking about some of these new punk bands that you like. Would you like to sort of choose a band / a song for us to get on, and then we'll come back with a bit more chat?
Okay. How about Green Day, Brain Stew?
Oh, excellent song.
Great choice.
And that kind of 3-chord sort of wonder as well.
Right.
Excellent. So this is the Oxide and Overdrive punk special with Marky Ramone, and here is Green Day with Brain Stew, and we'll be back with Marky right after this.
I'm having trouble trying to sleep. I'm counting.
Right, this is the Oxide Overdrive, and we're now joined by